Stand, Brad Hollister won the advantage match and still chooses to go in the steel cage first.
He is a ferocious competitor. We cannot forget that. He went straight after Alec Price when he came to Wrestling Open. Time and time again, he puts his foot on the gas pedal. So I'm actually not surprised that he's in there first here tonight. And you can see him testing that cage. It is a weapon.
And who's going to be going in against him? Number one, Ichiban?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Talk about unresolved issues. I thought it was all dead and buried, especially after Autumn Classic, as you see that cold, unforgiving steel.
And look at this crowd throwing up their ones. This is unreal, this atmosphere. I can't even describe it. But it is time for Ichiban to bring the war to Brad Hollister.
And now, the first member of the opposing team, sponsored tonight by @PaxFanBE. He is number one, Ichiban!
There isn't a single person on the Miracle Ones and Bobby Orlando team that would be afraid to step into this cage. But with Brad Hollister, Ichiban, more than anybody, will be ready and up for the task. Here we go, a 5-minute opening period, 2-minute periods for each entrant. And Pedro Donuts, main event, and Brad Hollister have the advantage.
I mean, Paul, think of how many matches we've seen end in under 5 minutes here at Wrestling Open in 2022. This matchup doesn't even officially begin until all 8 competitors are inside that ring.
And here we go. These two are slugging it out, unresolved issues, as these combatants are ready to bring the war here in the main event of the Last Stand.
You got to be especially careful trying to build momentum off the ropes, surrounded by a steel cage, not much room to work with. And you got to wonder if you send yourself into the ropes, you're going to be inadvertently sending yourself into the steel.
As Brad Hollister looks to take a ride into it. Now he stopped himself, and there was a kick. He might have caught him low there.
Put on the brakes, low blow. That's, I mean, it's anything
It's
goes
legal.
in this matchup.
It's legal. That's the X factor when it comes to making a decision. If you're going to pick who's going to win, you have to factor that in. You know Brad Hollister isn't past taking shortcuts. And neither is the main event, and neither is Pedro Donuts for that matter.
Most attended event in Wrestling Open history, the most watched event in Wrestling Open history. What an incredible year here at the White Eagle in Worcester, Massachusetts. Let's do this every Thursday forever. Do I understand this correctly? A 1-hour Iron Man match between Alec Price and Channing Thomas with Sidney Bacabella for the 1-year anniversary?
Wait, springboards off that second rope, and there's the high crossbody as Ichiban laying in some shots to Brad Hollister.
That's the name of the game. You got to avoid the steel cage at all costs. Steel cage warfare!
There goes Hollister as he bounces off of that cage door. And you have to be careful because you could slice yourself open real quick.
We talk about how there's padding in different parts of the ring, not to prevent impact, but to prevent laceration. And yeah, there's no padding in that steel cage ball.
None. Zero. This is as real as it gets. As there is a big-time leg drop, people will ask, well, how do they build that steel cage? They get a fence, and they build it, and that's it.
Yeah, you know what a fence like this is usually kept for? Like pit bulls in an animal shelter.
Have you ever gone up to a fence and maybe bumped your knee inadvertently? How much that hurts?
Yeah, I mean, I jumped a fence when I was playing soccer as a kid. I swear to God, I tore my entire uniform off. I had to go home. I mean, you know, I'm not trying to make light of the situation, but yes, the steel tears.
Into the back elbow, and Hollister collapses in a heap as Ichiban is keeping control so far on behalf of his team, but you know that when that clock runs out and the advantage goes to Hollister, the main event, and Pedro Donuts, it's going to be a different story.
If there's anybody that can weather the storm, it's going to be Ichiban. He said number one, and he wanted to be number one. And just like that, I mean, that was smart. He tried to prevent building momentum by avoiding hitting the ropes, hitting the cage, but he turned right around to the waiting arms of Brad Hollister, who snapped off that snowplow. I would think that if this was a normal matchup, he could go for the pin right now. There's not even any referees in the ring, Paul.
No, they're not. They are on the outside to figure out who submits or surrenders here after all 8 competitors are inside of that ring, as Brad Hollister now bringing the battle and dropping Ichiban on his neck.
Think back to the first season of Uncharted Territory. Brad Hollister, the match in the Discovery Gauntlet against Thomas Santel, even coming up short, invited back to compete. He had a rivalry with Cold Steel, Chuck O'Neil. You want to talk about the Cold Steel and the Steel Cage. And unfortunately, at that time, Brad Hollister injured his leg. He was out for a number of years. He felt as if Beyond Wrestling had forgotten about him. And man, when he returned here at Wrestling Open, boy, did he make an impact.
He went right after the prize, Alec Price. He said, I'm coming after all of your heroes because you all forgot about me, and I'm going to make you pay for it. And he has done that so many times over the last year here at Wrestling Open, and he looks to continue his bullying campaign against Ichiban.
Well, going after your heroes, I can't think of 4 more competitors more popular than the Miracle Generation, Ichiban and Bobby Orlando.
Oh, where's he going?
What the hell kind of strength is
Oh
that?
my God, look at that
Ichiban, get out of there. He's gonna fall to the floor.
He is hitting those one punches on Brad Hollister.
A sight to behold.
Huracan Rana off the top rope. Down goes Big Bacon, and Ichiban able to come back to life.
Making the most of that steel cage, a very unique environment, a very dangerous environment. You want it to cooperate, but you never know what the cold steel is going to do. If it can tear garments, just think of what it can do to flesh and bone, Paul. I shudder to think.
Yeah, I shudder to think too. I don't want to know because, man, there we go. There is the buzzer.
Now entering the cage, sponsored by @PatsFanBE, the ringleader, Midas Black.
And here comes Midas Black, and the advantage goes to Bacon and Midas Black here against Ichiban, but Ichiban's going to fight.
Oh, he's got about 2 minutes to make the most of fighting 2 opponents at the same time. Paul, I don't care how good you are, the numbers are not on Ichiban's side.
The numbers are not on the side of Ichiban.
Fans rallying behind Ichiban. Uh-oh!
Oh, into an assisted Samoan drop. Midas Black now taunting this crowd here at the White Eagle. And now the advantage that was won last week when Brad Hollister low-blowed Bobby Orlando is really paying off for this 2-minute period.
Interesting to see Midas Black outside of the circus costuming that we've come to know and love from the main event as Ichiban wiped out with a diving clothesline. You see multiple officials on the floor. When all 8 competitors are in this match, the steel cage warfare, that's when the match beyond begins.
Oh, there's a frog
You can
splash for good
only
measure.
win by submission or surrender.
And that is after all 8 members are in the ring. For the time being, Midas Black and Brad Hollister can do maximum damage to Ichiban and practically take him out of the equation.
Yeah, but look how much damage was done to Brad Hollister. I mean, he is definitely a little bit slow in his gait right here. Using this time to recover, but when that buzzer sounds, another member is coming out on Team Miracle Ones and Bobby Orlando.
Oh, here's a German.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
And we're about
5,
to even it up.
4,
Can't take your sights off of
3,
Ichiban,
2,
though.
1.
Dustin Flash
Now
Waller.
entering, sponsored by @PatsFanBE, Dustin Flash Waller.
What a year this kid has had here.
Huge
Double cutter
double
off the
cutter.
ropes.
Big time double cutter from Dustin Flash Waller. Look at how fired up this young man is. A year ago, he was sitting in front of the broadcast booth watching the show. Now he's in there giving it everything he has.
If it wasn't for guys like Love Doug, Kylon King, Dustin Flash Waller, I don't even know that Wrestling Open would exist. And we went from taking that idea and making it a reality. It was the match between Dustin Waller and Alec Price, where I knew that this was going to be the future of professional wrestling. I would have never guessed the community we would have built here in Worcester, Massachusetts in just 1 year.
There goes Midas Black for a ride. How about number 2 as Ichiban still down in the corner recovering. Dustin Waller having to do this all alone, and there is a collision up against the steel.
Well, that's what he's got to do. He's got to try and bide his time and try and buy some time for Ichiban. He's trying to help Ichiban up. He's got both of his opponents down. Ichiban is wobbly. Ichiban is wobbly.
He took a brutal beating, and now they are going to give that beating back here to Midas Black. and Brad Hollister.
You got to lay him out because when that buzzer hits, it's either going to be Donuts or Lyon, the freshest competitor thus far in the matchup, putting the odds in the favor of main event Donuts and Hollister.
European uppercut. They're fighting back. Are Hollister and Midas Black here, as we are at even strength here in the main event at the last stand. Oh, look at that. Brad Hollister charging
10,
in.
9, 8, 7,
Ichiban
6,
off the top,
5,
double cross
4,
body block.
3,
Who's coming out?
2,
Is it going to be
1.
Lyon? Is it going to be Donuts?
Oh, it's Jay Lyon.
Entering next, sponsored by @PatsFanBE, Blazin' Jay Lyon.
That is freaky. That is freaky to see him in those army fatigues.
The other half of the main event, he is bringing the fight. And how about the history over the past calendar year? A full year between the main event and the Miracle Generation.
And here we are 1 year later. I mean, these guys were two of the standout teams of the Uncharted Territory.
Oh, he's fighting him.
Season 3 Tag Team Discovery Gauntlet. Here we are a year later. They're still fighting.
And they know there are no rules here. Jay Lyon taking full advantage of that as he bit into the face of Dustin Flash Waller. Anything goes here.
Use that hashtag Restful. The most people ever watching on IWTV. Most people ever in attendance here at the White Eagle.
Oh.
That double underhook pile driver. I mean, that's the end of the end of the match, Paul. Except the match hasn't started.
Oh, there is a vicious elbow to the back of the head, and the 3-on-2 numbers are too much. Look at this. The main event and Brad Hollister overwhelming Ichiban and Dustin Flash Waller. By the time they get to submit or surrender, it's going to be a cakewalk at this point.
You can never, ever, ever count out Kylon King, especially the human frenzy that is your mom, Bobby Orlando. But we know that Donuts likes to call his shot. And last week he said he was calling his shot and they were coming for blood.
And he said that, you are right, and that sent shivers up my spine when he said it. So whether or not he is able to connect, frankly, I can't doubt it. When has he not hit his target? When he calls his shot, he always does. But is he coming out?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Who we
Here
got,
we go.
Kylon or Bobby?
2, 1.
Kylon
Sponsored by @PatsFanBE.
He's hesitant.
Kylon King.
You can't blame him. He's got a 3-on-1 fight. He's walking into an ambush.
3-on-1. What is he gonna do? He spears Brad Hollister down. Take one out.
He's gonna do the only thing he knows what to do, Paul. You just gotta fight. You gotta fight. You gotta fight. You gotta fight. You gotta power through. You gotta tough it out, and until your body gives out, you're
caught
just
Lyon.
gonna keep fighting.
There's a clothesline. You got 2 minutes to go in there like a Tasmanian devil and try to do the best you can. As Kylon King explosive with the drop kick. Here we go. Oh, head first into that. Oh, good Lord. German suplex into that steel. Into a code red. He jumped off of Midas, went on to Lyon, and Kylon King is a man possessed.
Oh, Kylon, turn around though. Keep him down. You're up. Keep him down. Help your boys up. Because any minute, Donuts is going to come in.
And he is helping them up, but how much energy do they have left here? And now they seem to have regrouped a little bit, but this one has broken down, and we are back at even strength, but it's not going to be for long.
Not for long, not for long. That is why the advantage match last week was so important. Because even when it's even when the odds are even, think of all the damage that's been unfairly done with the numbers advantage.
Oh, he is grinding the forehead of Brad Hollister.
He's gonna split him, he's gonna split him, he's gonna be squirting blood all over the fans. A gruesome sight right before our very eyes. Wrestling open, the last stand, steel cage warfare.
This is what this means to all of these guys. Usually,
10,
the Miracle
9,
Ones wouldn't go to that route.
8, 7, 6.
Here we go.
5, 4.
And we know who it's going to be.
3, 2, 1.
It's Pedro Donuts, the shot.
Sponsored by @PatsFanBE, the shot caller, Pedro Donuts.
He has that hula hoop, and referee Scott Robinson telling him you can't bring that in. You can't bring that into the cage.
Oh, Kylon King egging him on. Who's going to stop him?
Well, he has decided. Kylon King saying, bring that thing in. We don't care. And that just bought enough time. And now the referee telling him you can't bring that in. So Pedro Donuts just hucked it over the cage and brought it in.
We saw that they have used that hula hoop
That's how it all started.
to choke their opponents. You know what they used to do? They used to jump through it to attack their opponents on the floor. The greatest show on earth. Instead, these guys have become deadly between these ropes, surrounded by this steel cage.
That's how it all started. The main event turned their back on everyone. Joined Pedro Donuts off. And they busted Dustin Flash Waller open, and they unhooked that hula hoop and choked both Kylon and Flash Waller practically unconscious.
Does this match really need to get any more dangerous, Paul?
They are in clear control here.
Oh, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Go to another shot. Why do we have to see that?
He is right up against that steel cage. It is a 4-on-3 advantage, and I feel horrible for the Miracle Ones because they are being absolutely overrun here.
Well, there's only one chance that they have. Everybody's going to have their money on Bobby Orlando. And Bobby Orlando, Paul, I got to say, I love Bobby Orlando. You never know what you're going to get with Bobby Orlando.
10,
he is so
9,
unpredictable.
8,
Here we go.
7, 6.
Come on, Bobby.
5,
Come on, Bobby.
4,
It's time for
3,
submit or surrender.
2, 1. And now with Bobby Jr., the goatest of all time, Bobby Orlando.
They want to bring in a weapon. Bobby Orlando has a whole arsenal here, and Scott Robinson, he just waved him on. Scott Robinson.
But Bobby, what are you doing? You're giving the opposition weapons.
Scott Robinson just said, you know what? I'm supposed to hold you back, but go ahead, bring it in.
Bobby is loading up the ring for weapons for the main event. Donuts and Hollister to use, but he just chucked that trash can at Hollister's head.
And now let steel cage warfare begin.
Submit or surrender. The first member of their team to give it up will send the other team home very happy. But at this point, DC, it's survival mode.
Oh, it is survival mode. Absolutely. Think of everything that's brought us to this match. Think of everything that's still to come.
Oh, huge sick trick.
One-year
Unbelievable from Bobby
anniversary for
Orlando.
Wrestling Open. Who's even going to make it out of year one alive?
Where the hell is he going?
Might be looking for another sick trick, Paul.
He might be going for it. Oh, God, in midair. He got sent down like a surface-to-air missile. He just got crunched, and he is down.
That was the last chance for their team, Paul. That was the last chance for their team, Paul. I'm sorry, I do not like the Miracle One and Bobby Orlando's chance.
This is not good. This is not good at all for them. Ichiban's gonna try it. Hits the Destroyer. So there is a glimmer of hope here.
There's a glimmer of hope, but you're talking about the guy that started it off. What does Ichiban have left on the tank?
Oh, he caught him in midair, and he just sent him head first.
Good Lord, what a combination.
That was brutal. Absolutely brutal. Kylon reverses. Has him up. Hits the big leaping tombstone.
Can't even go for a pinfall. You can only win by submission or surrender.
Oh, Fisherman's Buster by the shot caller, Pedro Donuts. And he is standing. Dustin Flash Waller has a chain. He is going to choke the life out of the shot collar. Into a neck breaker.
Just so unbelievably dangerous. Break all the bones in somebody's neck. Pop out a disc. But that is what this has come to. That is what this rivalry is culminating with here. Capacity crowd, steel cage warfare, wrestling over the last stand.
Brad Hollister did not want Flash Waller to get anything going on that top rope, but now Brad Hollister could be the one to send Flash Waller down to the mat.
Might be looking for that tornado brain buster, that tornado jackhammer
Oh
instead.
my God, oh my God. Hollister's trying to fight out of this one, and he does. And down goes Flash Waller. Bacon still had enough energy. Oh my God, no, 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 no! German suplex, the Miracle Generation could be dead.
Indescribable strength, Paul.
Unbelievable effort from all 8 competitors here in the main event at the last stand, as they are all down in steel cage warfare. Who is going to break first? You can hear this crowd showing their respect for everyone here. We may not like what the main event Donuts and Brad Hollister have done, but everyone's laid it out here.
Everybody in professional wrestling takes different paths. The ultimate goal is to get to the top.
Here we go. They are getting wild. As this is too hectic to even call, DC. The carnage speaks for itself.
I mean, just skulls bouncing off of steel.
It looks like the Miracle Ones and Bobby Orlando with the advantage here.
But you know things can turn around in an instant. These guys letting the moment sink in.
And they send them crashing all together in the center of the ring. How quickly things can turn here at Steel Cage Warfare.
Bobby Orlando's got that weapon in hand. Looking to strategize. Maybe it is the Miracle Ones and Bobby Orlando looking to call their shot right now, Paul.
And it looks like they are. They're going for a quadruple submission here. Maybe all 4 will submit.
Oh.
How sweet would that be?
1 in 4 odds at the very least of getting the victory by submission or surrender.
And oh no, Brad Hollister up to his feet, and he just sent them all crashing.
It's just like a one-man demolition crew.
Big Bacon just saved this for everybody. He just saved the Steel Cage Warfare for his entire team. He did it all by himself. As you can hear, oh boy, Jay Lyon.
Oh!
Absolutely cracked the skull of Kylon King. And he has that chair set up now. And this could be, forget about evil intention, it could be evil execution. Oh, good Lord, a combination on the chair.
He's going to surrender.
Look at him.
He's going to surrender.
He's convulsing. He's convulsing.
You can't even get anybody to get him out of there. There's nowhere to go.
But Jay Lyon seeing Flash Waller in the corner. No, he missed. He missed. He tried that cannonball. Down goes Midas Black with a shot. With the top of that garbage pail. Bobby Orlando adjusting the back. As they are going for that trash can. What does this mean? Oh my God. Is he gonna do it? Van Terminator!
Well, he just pulled a Prestige Wrestling because he just went coast to coast, Paul.
Unbelievable. They are leaving it all out here.
Now looking for the submission. The full Nelson apply. Turn around, Bobby.
Oh, right to the back of the head.
Concussion City. And Donuts just absolutely decimating.
The shot caller has lost his cool. We have never seen this side of him before, ever. And he is firing up Big Bacon.
Okay, and I think that is the last person in this match that you want to deal with. He started it off with Ichiban. I can't believe he's still standing.
And there is a rear naked choke. He doesn't have the legs around the midsection, but they are all screaming at Bobby Orlando.
Somebody's going to help him. Somebody's going to help him.
To give it up.
Is Kylon looking to get out of here? If he leaves, is that considered surrendering?
Where the hell is he going? Oh my God! He is on top! It's the moonsault off the top of the cage! It was a desperate act, but man, it was a risk that paid off. We thought Kylon was out. And he dug down deep. That is how much this war means to everyone inside of that steel cage.
13 plus years of Beyond Wrestling, coming up on our 14th year. I've never seen anything like this, Paul.
It is unbelievable as all 4 competitors are down. Pedro Donuts is stirring, but I think he realizes that he is a man on an island trapped. It is 4-on-1 as Bobby Orlando getting up.
All right, Donuts, call your shot. Let's see what you got.
Bobby Orlando with the backcracker. Hits the flatliner. Super kick and the high kick combination. What is Ichiban doing here? He has him in a camel clutch, and they have that hula hoop. And they are wrapping it around the neck of Pedro Donuts. Is he gonna give it up?
Turn it purple, he looks like a fucking
He's
eggplant.
turning purple.
He's gonna die in there, he's gonna die in there. Give up, stop it.
The Miracle Ones and Bobby Orlando win Steel Cage Warfare.
Here's the time, 24 minutes, 12 seconds. Here are your winners, Bobby Orlando, Dustin Flash Waller, Kylon King, and Ichiban.
Paul, I've just gotten the word, the largest attendance in the history of Wrestling Open. 410 fans here for the last stand to see the Miracle Ones and Bobby Orlando victorious in Steel Cage Warfare. I have nothing else to add to this broadcast. That was unlike anything else I have ever seen.
410 very happy fans as Kylon King, Dustin Flash Waller, Ichiban, and Bobby Orlando are your winners for Steel Cage Warfare. Folks, stay tuned for ICW No Holds Barred, but we will see you for 1 year anniversary and the